Okay, once you have all of your drawings completed, a good way to kind of control your layer management and kind of management of your drawing is to put them, and it's unconventional, but this is just one method of doing it in Rhino, is putting each drawing on a different layer. So typically in drawings you're putting different like elements on different layers. So the wall would probably have like 4 or 5 different elements, like the sheathing, the cladding, the studs, the sheetrock, and sometimes the vapor barrier. But in this case, we're just this is like kind of a quick and dirty method to make a 3D model in Rhino. Okay. So we're just, rather than specifying materials or in elevation distances, we're just putting each drawing on a different layer. And then with this, we're going to group each drawing with itself. Okay? So we're going to select a drawing and then type group, enter. And then you can continue doing that for each one. And I didn't mention this earlier, but to re-enter a command, you can just press enter. Okay? You can also press spacebar. So I don't have to retype the command. I can just press enter. Okay, and now the way that we're going to approach this is kind of like raising a barn. Okay, so we're going to raise the sections up around the plan. Or the elevations up around the plan, and then also place the section inside of the plan. So in order to do this, we first need to rotate some of these. So we're going to choose the rotate command. And remember that rotate, if it's not rotate 3D, you are only rotating in the view that you are in. So right now we can only rotate from the top view down. Rotate 3D allows us to rotate in whatever axis we want because we're specifying 2 different dimensions, or 3 different dimensions. Okay, so we're just going to place our drawings, rotate. This is a section, so I'll just put that to the side for now. Let's see, rotate. And because these are traced, they're not entirely accurate, so you might have to do a little bit of scaling, which I imagine you'll have to do for your drawings also in order to coordinate them. So make sure that all of your drawings are lined up correctly on the plan. And then you're going to want to lock your plan. And locking is cool because it's still active. The lines are still active, so you can still snap to them, but you can't move them anyway. So you can kind of still use it as a reference, your plan, to rotate around it, to snap to it, to extrude to it, but you don't need to worry about accidentally modifying it or selecting it when you don't want to. Trouble in paradise. Huh. This connection has been kind of finicky. Oh. Cool cool down is in progress. Okay, cool down is in progress, so we might take a little break while we cool down here. Any questions on what we've done so far? So rotate, does rotate as opposed to rotate 3D make sense? Hey, cool down is in process.
I would imagine that it's
Ooh,
like
and then there's that
yeah,
too.
there's the cell phone interference.
Yeah.
Get all the electronics. I would imagine it's a safety mechanism to keep it from shutting off too abruptly, because those bulbs are pretty sensitive
Okay.
to like sudden temperature changes.
Okay.
So I would imagine once it's done with this, it will turn back on.
Okay, great.
So I will wait around and make sure.
Okay. If you all can remember to turn in the hard copy of assignment 1 also, we'd like those if you haven't turned them in yet. You can give them to Elliot. Has this happened before?
I imagine that you have to go through this every time you want to boot it up and boot it down. Oh yeah, I'm so good at pressing buttons. Dude, watching TV is way more fun.
Oh yeah?
I don't remember exactly.
So is everyone okay with kind of getting their elevations in place?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah? Maybe I can just describe it, what it is that needs to happen, and so I can show it. You're going to rotate you're going to orient your elevations so they're all kind of um, corresponding to the plan, laid down flat like this, and then rotate them through to kind of frame in a direction, like frame your plan. I can walk around and show you that. And then each elevation, you're going to select the line work. So maybe the outside boundary of the elevation and then all of the windows, and extrude it with a cap, each elevation. Okay? And then you can zoom in those elevations together. And then the floor plan you locate with the sections. So you put the floor plan where the top of the floor starts in the section, and then you extrude it the same way. And then same with the second floor plan. You put it at the top of the floor plan, second floor plan, and then extrude it down. And you can snap the drawings. And it makes it much easier to extrude and work it in front of the drawings when you're in the front view, the right view, the left view. It makes the drawing flat, and that view on the picture and top view. Okay? And I can show you on the picture what's happening again, but maybe kind of this picture is how it works. Okay, so we are going to, how many of you are here right now, generally? Okay, well, I'll just keep going and then I can walk around. But I think Andrea made a good point, which is that you should really start working on your projects rather than this exercise ASAP. So I just want to show you how to three-dimensionalize this, and then you should jump on your assignments, okay? Okay, so we're going to rotate 3D. So again, we draw the hinge point. Then I'm going to go into perspective, so I can kind of see what I'm doing here. And do the same for all of these. Oh, and that one's not grouped yet, it looks like. Okay. So now let's just start with this first easy elevation. So I'm going to ungroup that, and I'm going to select my facade and openings on the facade. And then I'm going to extrude them solid yes. And then if you look here, I can extrude them to the plan. So I'm just extruding it to this. Let me turn on shaded view here. Okay, and then with those areas, those interior areas selected, we get the openings with our extrusion as well. Okay, let's try it with another facade. Ungroup it. 1, 2, 3, 4. Extrude. Curve. Okay. And then you'll see here that we have this kind of funny situation of overlap. So with this, we're going to Boolean and cross our fingers that it works, okay? Boolean to objects. Ooh, hello? So it looks like it's not quite giving us, I think this is the version that, oh, no, that's not what we want. There we go. So now you can see that it's one object, and you can do the same thing for each one of your walls. Okay? And then you just create your windows separately also. So you still have this line work. And this is a very, obviously very, very basic set of geometries that we're working with here. But it's just to give you kind of the general idea about 2D flat, or I guess 2D raster to 2D vector, 2D flat to rotating into 3D and then three-dimensionalizing. Okay? that's generally what needs to happen with what it is you're doing. So now let's take this section and get some kind of more sectional information in here. Again, rotate 3D. We're going to create the hinge axis, and then rotate up. You can locate the stairs where they go right here. And then I'm going to go into, I'm going to hide this elevation. Hide is another great command. We could, because this elevation is actually on its own layer, we could just turn that layer off, but I'm going to show you the awesome hide command. Then I'm going to ungroup this guy, select the stairs, and extrude. So there we have our stair. Similar idea with floor plans. We can put our floor plan now at the top of the stair. Let's make sure it's aligned. Move vertical. And then same thing here, ungroup. And you'll see that we have this situation on the second floor where we don't want to be booleaning too many things because Rhino's going to get confused. Booleaning, for some reason, is very heavy for Rhino. So generally, the idea of the stair, it looks like it's just an open floor plan on the second floor. Generally, the idea is open floor plan with an opening to accept the stair, right? And then we can draw the walls separately. So let's just designate an opening for the stair. Not being very good about layer management here. So I'm going to redraw this opening for the stair. And then this opening here. And then similar to the walls, extrude. And we know where to extrude to because we can just look at our section. So do you see how I'm snapping to the different drawings? So this section, the plan snaps to the section, and then the elevations snap to the plan. So it's kind of a, I don't know, a nice system. Not very exact by any means, but this is more just for kind of getting an idea of just a very general idea of a building, a massing, and then we can start to render this also and make images from it. So is that a good intro for three-dimensionalizing buildings? I think it's probably better if you guys jump on your work and then Elliot and I can circulate for the rest of the day. Yeah. Yeah. PDF, it depends on if it's a vector-based PDF or a raster-based PDF. You can import PDFs. So if we just type in import, you can see, I'll try to, let's see, if I have any PDFs I can put. Let's try this one. I'm pretty sure this is not. Sometimes Rhino struggles with PDFs. I was trying to export to a PDF and it was struggling earlier this week. Let's see. Oh, okay. So that was a vector-based PDF. Of course it is. So you can see this is the imported, and nothing's to scale, and it looks like no text came in with it either. So it's kind of, it's not. Other questions? Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. That's another way of doing it. I, yeah, I mean, it makes sense to do it that way if your facade isn't changing in elevation. But, and I guess this would have been a good example to extrude because it is just a rectangle. But I like it how it's really easy to locate the openings with this method. So either way, yeah, good question. Other questions? Okay, cool. Is it clear what you need to do to move forward for assignment 2? Nods are good. Shaking your head is also good. Just let me know. Okay, cool. Well, if it's not, just let me know. And I think the assignment sheet is pretty thorough, so just refer back to that if you have questions.